What's up, guys? Steven here for Off the Shelf Movie Night to talk to you about physical media, about Blu-rays and 4Ks and DVDs, the way we like to buy and own our movies and TV shows, documentaries, whatever. We just like to have them, watch them when and how we want, and keep them in a cool library. Mine's a mess, but we're going to get into why. So if you are into movies, you want to collect, you are a collector, you're in the right spot. Hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, and if you like what you see, a like really means a lot. You can share it if you want. I'm cool with that. But if you could take a second and just hit that little thumb there, that would really help get the word out about the channel. So, the reason the library is a mess, because I've been going through a process. One, I'm in the middle of a production shoot. Couple of pretty reasonable video projects happening at the same time, so everything is always a mess when that's happening, because I need gear all the time. Stuff is out. Also, if you've been following for a while, you know that I'm reorganizing the library. And I took some of you guys' advice and combined it with what I need in order to properly browse my collection and came up with an idea. Or a conclusion. It's not anything unique. It's just reorganizing the library in a new way for me. I need things by genre because when I come to my library, I usually know what genre I want to watch, but I don't know what movie. So I need to be able to go to horror, or to sci-fi, or to action, or to comedy, or to documentary, whatever. But the part where I've listened to you guys is within those genre sections, I am going to alphabetize. Now, outside of genres, I'm sorting by studio, and sometimes by director, if it's a director I really like. I'm not going to sort by a director I have one or two titles, but if I'm actively collecting that director's stuff, I will do a separate section for them. And we're going to talk about that a little bit today. But my first video, we went through my arrows. I sorted all my Arrow movies, the standard editions, slipcovers, and special editions, and got them all in alphabetical order in there on the shelf. Now we're going to do Scream Factory. I don't have a huge Scream Factory collection, and it's because some of you already know this, is I have a love-hate relationship with Scream Factory. I love their IP. They have great movies. I don't love what they charge us for what they put out. This may be a hot take for some of you guys, but I don't think their slipcovers are that good. I know a lot of you guys actually collect for their slipcovers, and that's cool. I get it. But I think their slipcovers are good for $24.99, not $32, $36.99. What they're doing in that price range doesn't compare to what Arrow or Blue Underground or any number of other really good distributors are doing for that dollar amount. So it really bothers me. I feel like they're just overcharging us. But anyway, get to the point. Let's talk about what I have. I'm going to go through my collection, my Scream Factory collection with you. I'm going to try and go reasonably quick so this doesn't go on forever. If there's a particular movie you want to see me do a complete unboxing on or to talk more about, let me know in the comments and I'll do a separate video on that. Anyway, here we go. Here are my Scream Factory titles. Now, the collection would be much bigger if I was doing Scream Factory / Shout Factory because I have a ton of Shout Select titles. But I'm not sorting those into their own thing. Most of them are just what I would call basic releases. I like the movies that they put out, but I don't think Shout Select always does a lot of work. They don't do the good stuff, always. We don't get good extras. Sometimes we get old transfers just repurposed. So those are just going in the mix. Anyway, enough BS. Here we go. Scream Factories. Standard editions first. Swamp Thing. Wes Craven is a director I probably at some point will do a section for, because I have a number of his titles. You're about to see two of them. Swamp Thing is campy, but it's campy in that comic book way. It has Adrienne Barbeau in it, Scream Queen from the 80s that I really love. Highly recommended. The People Under the Stairs, a very much underappreciated Wes Craven film. The thing I love about this film the most, though, is its aesthetic, its vibe. The vibe in this movie could have only been done in the 80s. Can't be reproduced. It's just a very unique feel, this movie. Ninja 3 The Domination. You can see I've switched from their artwork to the original because I just love it. What happens when Flashdance meets a ninja? Sho Kosugi is in it, and that's what matters to me. All right. One of the earliest movies that I saw that probably I saw at too young of age and shouldn't have seen it, The Town That Dreaded Sundown. This is based on a real person, and it has a documentary vibe. Those two things together scared the living crap out of me. See, I told you I'm going fast. Trying to go fast. Motel Hell. I'm not big into horror comedy, but the brand of comedy that's happening here is phenomenal. I love it. This is just so cheesy and so much fun. I saw this movie over and over again as a kid on HBO, like in repeat. Let's see. Night of the Comet. Now, this one's a sci-fi and would normally be in a separate section if I wasn't doing a distribution by studio. A comet passes over Earth, kills everybody, or turns them into like creatures, and we only have a few people, a couple of Valley Girls, and Chakotay from Star Trek Voyager left to survive. Campy, very 80s, very fun. Funhouse Massacre. Now, this might actually come out of the Scream Factory Studio collection at some point, because I'm doing a subgenre collection of horror movies shot inside actual haunted houses. So once I have enough of those, I'll probably break them out into their own section for fun. And we have... Is this Scream Factory? Okay. We have Cobra. This is one of Stallone's kind of more generic 80s action films, but I really love it. I love the car. His aesthetic, his style is fun and hilarious and very 80s. And it's a Canon Group film. I love Canon Group films. All right, that's my standard editions. I know, I told you it was short, right? Let's get into the slips. Drag Me to Hell, one of Sam Raimi's best films. This is, for me, probably his number 4 best film, after Evil Dead 1 and 2 and Army of Darkness. And I don't know what the order would be. I'd have to do a ranking later and think about that a little more. But this would be in the top 4. And I'll show you real quick. I did flip it to the old artwork there. This film, people that are watching Doctor Strange right now, or Doctor Strange: The Multiverse of Madness, if you liked that movie and you haven't seen Drag Me to Hell, you need to make some corrections in your life. The Entity. This is a movie with Barbara Hershey that tells the story. It's loosely based on a real person, of a woman who was literally haunted and raped by a ghost. Oh, should I be pulling these out, all of them? I don't... Yeah, I flipped it. That's the original artwork. I actually feel like this artwork, oddly, is more representative than this. This feels like a sci-fi thing to me. This is a more recent release, The Explorers. What happens when some really precocious kids in the 80s, this is an 80s film, build a spaceship and travel out in space? It's a cute movie. It's a little bit too long. I did flip it. It's too long, but fun. I like that sort of kids can do anything thing that happened in the 80s for a while. Firestarter, the original, the good one. The new movie is horrible. I love this movie. Drew Barrymore, just such a cute little kid, and George C. Scott was terrifying. I didn't flip this one. Yeah. All right. Near and dear to my heart, this movie, Hell Night. Hell Night. This is about a group of sorority and fraternity pledges having to stay the night in a haunted house where there's actually someone in there that's killing people. There's the original artwork. Very cool. This is the artwork I remember. Very video store. It has an all grown up Reagan from The Exorcist. I loved a lot of her stuff in the 80s. House of Wax. This movie should have been bad. It has, I think it's Jared Padalecki from Supernatural, you would know, and it has, obviously, Paris Hilton. Should have been bad. This is a remake, but it's actually very good. Here's the artwork you've probably seen. It's actually a really fun little horror movie. I originally wanted to see it because I hated Paris Hilton when it came out and just heard she got killed. So I had to see it. And her death is, pretty entertaining. Here we go. This is The Howling. This is a beautiful 4K. I didn't flip the artwork here yet. I'm not going to do it now. If you want to see that, I'll do it later. It's a beautiful 4K Studio Canal scan. This is the late 70s King Kong. I remember growing up watching this movie on TV. Here's your original artwork. You may have seen that. I'm going off center. I don't know why I'm doing that. It says Diane Lane and Jeff Bridges in it. And I love this movie. I was so happy it got a good restoration. All right, here's one I got to make some decisions on. Misery. Misery. It's a Stephen King. I didn't flip this art. Haven't touched it. This is what happens when a writer, played by the late, great James Caan, gets kidnapped by his biggest fan. Kino Lorber has a 4K, but I'm pretty sure this one actually has more extras, so I got to figure out if I'm going to double dip or give up those extras. I don't know. My Bloody Valentine. This is an early 80s slasher. I love this one. It's all based around Valentine's Day. There's your original artwork. I feel like we have a 4K coming of this. I just feel like this one's primed for a 4K. Rabid. This is one of my earlier pickups, and it's a David Cronenberg. Just did a pickup video with him. I may actually put this one to the side. I'm starting to acquire a good sizable collection of Cronenberg stuff. I really have always loved Cronenberg. My favorite David Cronenberg, I haven't flipped it, favorite David Cronenberg movie actually is a movie called Existenz. And that's how they say it in the movie. I know a lot of you guys want to say Existenz, but they say Existenz in the movie. So that's how I choose to say it. We don't have a good domestic release of that one. There is an international release, like a UK release. I think it's from 101 Films or Eureka or somebody like that. But they're repurposing an old transfer. So I've kind of been waiting to see if it would get a 4K because a lot of his stuff is starting to get a 4K. Then we have Serial Mom. Kathleen Turner playing a character that'll do anything to protect her children. Love it. Pussy Willow. All right. And now for my last Scream Factory item. A lot has been done about this, including by me, but it is the Friday the 13th Complete Collection. This is one of my prized collections. I love it. The scans are a mixed bag. Some scans are really, really good. Some are not as good. But overall, it's a beautiful collection with a ton of great extras. Now I've got one more set of Scream Factory slips to show you. So we talked about how I'm going to have sections of directors, just talking about David Cronenberg. I am buying up all the John Carpenter 4K reissues that Scream Factory is doing. So I have them here. Escape from New York. Haven't really done any flipping of these yet. I'll show you that one in a second. That's not part of this. Okay. Halloween. You know what? This one's produced by John Carpenter, but not directed by him. But I love this movie, Halloween 3. I don't know that I'll keep this in the John Carpenter collection, honestly, because he didn't direct this one, but he did produce it, and it went the direction he wanted the franchise to go. So that's why it's there right now. Prince of Darkness. Got a little Alice Cooper action happening there. No change on the slip yet. They Live. I love They Live. I got to see this in the theater a couple of months ago in my art house theater here in town. They just screened it again. I've seen it a couple of times there. Every so often. Every year, 2 years, 3 years, something like that, they pull it back out and show it. This movie is more relevant now than even when it came out, I think. And lastly, the universal release of The Thing. Right? Well, there you go, guys. That is my complete Scream Factory collection. The Friday the 13th and the John Carpenters are my favorites of the entire thing, but everything here is good. I love these films. If you want me to talk more about any particular one, let me know. In the meantime, these are getting alphabetized, put on my shelf, firstly sorted by standard release, slipcover, and then any special editions. That's the way I did Arrow, and that's the way I'm going to do these. So they're going on the shelf next. Until next we meet, pull something cool off the shelf, share it with friends and family, and remind them why physical media is the best way to watch films and TV at home. I'll see you guys on the next one.